Okay, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cos Talk Live. It is Sunday, September 12th, and we're all here. We're alive, and we're tired.
I didn't even con this weekend, and I'm tired.
No. I can't believe that it's only been like a week. Oh, look, there's Amber. Hi, Amber. I can't believe it's only been it's already been a week since Sabo, so my brain's like, what? but this time last week I was getting ready to hawk my wares at a taco closet. I got to channel my inner Khajiit and say this one has wares on the floor, and I got to sell stuff on the floor. So yeah. All right, so we'll do introductions. I am Sam from ThermoCosplay, and today I'm doing Negasonic Teenage Warhead because since I have a mohawk, I decided maybe I should just embrace my mohawk and spray some color and just go for it. And now I'm thinking maybe I'm going to dye my hair black again, but we'll see. We'll see. I've been cosplaying since 2014, and I am still working through coffee, so you might see me be like, so.
Hi, everybody. Tiny Rain Cloud, you've actually hit me at a very awkward day, though. Today I'm changing my username on all of my social media, so I will no longer be Kii-Chan. I'm actually going to be switching over to Chibi Rain Cloud. Thank you for your patience as I figure myself out. But I'm finally doing it, so I might just change it on here. But hi, everybody. Kii-Chan Cosplay, Tiny Rain Cloud, Chibi Rain Cloud, whatever you want to call me. Been cosplaying for a while. I wish I was at a con last weekend. I've been working my butt off, which is why I haven't been on the show. And so I wish I had joined everyone for fun. But I am here today. So hi. I'm excited to be here. I haven't dressed up in cosplay in like a month. So.
And now we have Kitty and Amber. Wait, you're dolphining, Amber? I can't hear you.
You're yeah.
She's gonna have to leave and come back, guys.
Oh my god.
Okay. So sometimes when you connect to a stream, you get a thing called dolphining, where your voice is like, and that's what just happened to her. So we'll have her back in a moment, and then we'll have her introduce herself. And today's stream, the topic is focusing on aftercare for cosplay. So we wanted to talk about like your aftercare, your costumes aftercare, and other things you may want to consider while attending a convention and after attending the convention. Simply because there's a lot involved with taking care of yourself pre, during, and post an event. And some people don't think about this. So we wanted to talk about it as events are coming back. And it looks like Amber's back. All right, talk, Amber. Let's see. I can't hear you at all now. Is your speaker connected? Hi, Shane. Hi, Matt. Hi, Cool Gamer. Thank you for joining the stream today. Amber's just having some grumpy technical issues with her microphone. We'll figure it out soon. You can hear us, though, right? I think you can.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Okay, does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, yay. Okay, well, I still have my cat. So there he is. He brought my sewing with me too. So hi, I'm Amber Brite. I'm a professional prop maker here in Arizona, and this is Enzo. And he really doesn't like when I do this, so I'm going to put him down again. And I did not go to Sabo, and I have the perspective of being one of the people who decided not to do cons quite yet. So I have the outside perspective of being literally 15 minutes from con, but not being at con, which as someone who makes a living going to conventions was a very weird experience. And so
I believe that.
Move.
No, Kitty butt must be in the video. So after we'll start with before you go to a convention. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. But right now, since it is a pandemic, before you go to a convention, you'll want to make sure you check their policies. A lot of events are requiring masks, social distancing, and they're also limiting the type of cosplays that you can wear at the event. Like most events won't let you wear a helmet or a mask, anything that might cover the fact that they can't see you actually wearing a medical mask or something to protect your face. And then other events, because the fact that most people are wearing masks aren't even allowing special effects makeup because it just covers too much of who you are and they can't identify you.
Yeah.
So you
I know,
want
like
to
right now, Star Wars Celebration has said just straight off the board as of this moment. And keep in mind, this is Star Wars Celebration for May, so it might change. But as of right now, Star Wars Celebration says no buckets on whatsoever. They need to be able to see that you have a facial covering and an appropriate one too. I keep seeing people wearing those like little face shield things, like the clear ones, and I appreciate it for seeing your cosplay, but it doesn't actually do anything to stop particulates, so that's not an appropriate facial cover.
Yeah, and most cons are banning those two. Like if it's clear or if it's plastic, and it's basically just not. If it's not, most masks need to be 4 layers or more to block, and a piece of plastic isn't 4 layers or more. So
it's going to end poorly.
And on top of that, so that's how Arizona is doing it. Realize that every single state is handling their situation internally at a completely different rate. Here in Washington, almost every con has made sure that you have to have a requirement of you have to be vaccinated. You have to be able to show off your vaccination card, or you have to be able to show you have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the event. Some places are requiring both of these things, which honestly, that makes me feel a lot safer. I didn't even think about going to Emerald City until they made this announcement that this is how they're handling the situation. Now I'm actually thinking, okay, they're genuinely concerned about my safety, and that's what I want to do. And so still, I haven't bought my tickets yet. I'm still on the fence, but the fact that conventions are getting smarter about this and creating these safety precautions for us as cosplayers, it definitely does make me feel better about the cosplay scene coming back to the United States.
How many conventions have we been at and we've come home with con crud? Like for me, it was like every
con.
This is honestly this is the first convention I've come back from, and I had a kidney infection, and this is the first convention I've come back from, and I haven't been sick.
Yeah. I kind of love masks. Like I really hope this becomes more socially acceptable. I know it's been highly politicized, which really sucks, but like I love masks so much. I love not having to do makeup except for like eye makeup. I love
literally I didn't do any makeup from here down, except if I did photo shoots. And then I'd go do my photo shoots and then I'd like wipe this part off and be like, wee.
Yeah. Done.
I think that also adds that really fun aspect that if you have time, you can make a mask that matches your costume. There's an event I'm thinking about going to, and so I'm making a mask that's very like, it's a dragon's face to match my costume. And I'm like, this is a really fun thing that I would have never have done if there wasn't a pandemic. And I'm actually enjoying myself a lot. So.
Yeah, I bought a 4-pack of 4-layer nude masks, and I'm going to be painting faces on all of them for like different characters. And since they're so comfortable, they actually fit my face really well. I think I might buy some more of them and like do them for like as many characters as I can.
That's fun.
But Amber just caught our cat. Cat's a
we're like
Pokemon
scared him off of chewing on some pins. Don't chew on pins. I'm sorry, they're like high maintenance today. Like go outside.
So that's the big thing. Like before you go to a con, make sure you check the policies, check their blogs, check their social media, check the website. Because the one I went to like updated it like 3 days before the con. So you'll want to be really cautious and make sure that you can actually like that 3 days is really important too. Because if you have to get a COVID test, then you need to do it like that day. So that's why it's like, okay, check it before because you don't want to get there and you can't attend. That would be terrible.
Right. And it's very
up on comments. Matt, Shane, and Cool Gamer all say hi. So hi guys. Matt says some big cons are requiring proof of vaccination or proof of a negative test.
Yeah, I went to one in Vegas for a cybersecurity conference and I had to have proof of vaccination. I had to wear a mask and then we had like distancing protocols as well.
Kate says heart, clap, clap, clap. Well, heart, clap, clap, clap back. We love you, Kate. And then Reiji says, I chickened out and didn't go to Sabo. Like, same.
That's fine.
There were some people that like I had bought a pass for a friend and she's like, I'm just really nervous. I'm like, it's fine. Like I'm not going to judge you on this. Please go. The only reason I had to stay committed even after my kidney infection was I had workshops and panels that I promised to do. So
For me, we thought about going on Saturday just to say hi, but like the early numbers for like Thursday or Friday were that it was like packed and we're like, no, that's it. Like we're high risk, you know, and I have faith that my friends were being conscientious and stuff, but it was also 100 degrees. So I did my panel with you guys on Saturday. I tuned in, and then we had a nice leisurely lunch and took a nap. So
well, and this is the thing too, like when you're at
all of it.
See, when you're at conventions during pandemic too, there's usually limited food and drink options now too. So you're going to want to consider to bring your own stuff now. Bring like maybe a backpack bag that you can put food and water in. Make sure it's still sealed, because a lot of conventions, unless water is usually the only thing they let be open, because they understand that, especially in Arizona where you are encouraged to hydrate yourself. Like even in Arizona cons, they still had water stations where you could safely refill your water bottles, just because we're in a really hot, arid desert. And that's just pretty common at events. They always have water stations. And so that, thankfully, we brought bottles that we could refill every time. But you're probably going to want to bring bottles, some protein bars, food that will stay throughout the day, because it was very difficult for us to find food because of all the distancing protocols. So there was limited availability.
Yeah, I just think of how crowded Sabo was the last time and how crowded most conventions tend to be. And we went out to see Shang-Chi for the midnight premiere on, I guess that was Thursday. I guess it wasn't midnight premiere. It was at 7:30. So like, I'm old. I don't go to midnight premieres anymore. But we went out and saw Shang-Chi. And that, like, just filing in and out of the theater, I was like, please don't touch me. Please go 6 feet away. Please don't touch me. Like,
see, I went and saw it yesterday, and there was like 20 people in the whole theater.
Yeah. We went to the release date though, but like that ingrained social anxiety now after like a year and a half of dealing with this, like it's real. And I had friends messaging me being like, I don't know what to do. I'm in a crowd. I'm overwhelmed.
You were talking about another thing. So when I went to the convention, that was one thing. So many people just came up and would stare at me, and I'm like, can I help you? Because they were trying to figure out how to talk to me, because there's literally, think about it, a lot of people have been stuck in their homes for a while just doing video chats, right? And so there was a lack of the ability to read social cues, body language. And so literally it was hilarious, because like I'm a very friendly person, so I'm a little awkward, but I'm very friendly. So when someone comes up and just stares at me awkwardly, I'm going to talk to them. So it's literally, you might have that happen when you return to conventions. You might have some people that have just been alone for a little too long, and they're going to stand there and look at you like they're trying to figure it out.
Not to mention, a lot of people
just be extra forgiving for all of our precious little awkward beings, which is 95% of us. Like even me, I'm like, how do I entertain people now? Like, how do I have conversations? Like,
and I mean, a lot of us use like facial cues as our like source of that, like being able to tell what somebody is feeling or how they are, and not being able to have not being able to see that is a huge, I work in the public, and that is such a problem, even just at work. So like I'm actually there's a con in my area up in Renton, the King Kong, that's going to be coming up on Halloween weekend. And I am debating on going because they have pretty good safety features going on. And there's a guest I really want to meet. But this is an interesting episode for me, because now I'm hearing how you handled the con, Sam, because I'm still kind of in Amber's shoes. Like, I haven't done any conventions in my area outside of Ren Fair because it was outside and we went on an off day. Like, I would also wore my mask the whole time. I was very, very careful, and I felt very anxious the whole time because there was enough people to make me feel anxious. But we left when it started getting busy. So like, I'm kind of still in the boat of like, I don't.
Yeah, I set rules basically. I told people no hugs. Like, we could be near each other and take a picture, but there's no hugs, no leaning in, no touching me, kind of a rule. And then the only time I gave hugs was at the very end, and it was 3 people that I had been looking for the whole con, and I found them the last day. It was like, okay,
right, and like, it's a different experience, because like I kind of want to go to a con, because believe me, I miss it after seeing all the posts from last weekend, because there was Dragon Con, Sabaton, Boston Con, like all of my friends were at a convention except for me.
And so, FOMO was brutal. Oh my God, the FOMO was brutal. Like all Saturday, well, all the morning of Saturday leading up to the panel, I was like, we could just go. Like, we could just go. Like, we're gonna be sad if we don't go. And then I think we were sad, but also like, I don't think we personally are at the point where we could have had fun, and we're vaccinated and everything like that. But I don't think we personally, and like, not to say, and I hope everyone who did go had fun, but I don't think we would have had fun going. So,
and that's perfectly fair. Yeah. That's where I'm sitting. Like, I'm really concerned about King Kong because I'm in this. I still have this social anxiety where I'm like, there's going to be more people than I'm used to handling even at work.
Yeah. How many of us haven't seen more than like 10 or 15 people for a year and a half at this point? Like,
I do work, so I work in the public space with a lot of people all the time, but I also am a manager, so I can retreat to the back room by myself a lot more often than not. It's just a weird experience, though, just the concept of like, I used to never be like concerned with this type of situation, but now I'm like, would I have fun going, or would I be anxious the whole time? Because I know I will be anxious going, which is, I'm bringing my best friend with me because I can hold on to her. But like, it's a new, there's this new level of like, I guess, fear that we're dealing with that we're not used to having. And it's a very different experience.
Yeah.
And so there was one thing that Stapleton did that I really liked. They had different colored lanyards, and then they did have some like pages posted up on the walls and at the event, like on the back of your badge, saying what the lanyard colors meant. And the different colored lanyards basically were like, there's black, green, red, and yellow, I think. And each one was like, approach me, don't approach me, ask, and then I'm cool with anything, kind of a thing, right?
Oh, so interesting.
So I actually found that worked because I would have people stand away and be like, may I take a photo with you? And then I said, sure. And then I'd give them like a distance. But I had fewer people approach me because I was wearing that color lanyard. And that was good because I was still really weak for my kidney infection, at least weak for me. Like most people be like, what? I'm like, no, weak for me. but so I was still recovering, and my ability to interact socially was very limited.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that concept because, like, I feel like I would be in the ask category where I'm like, I have certain friends that I know are going to be at that con and I would love to see them, but I'm also on their social media. I know how safe they're being. I'm seeing the precautions that they're setting up like I am. So I trust these humans versus strangers that I don't know, and I don't know what they're doing in their pastime. And I that concerns me.
Yeah. I mean, there's been enough conventions that there are people out there who've been to conventions for like the past 4 weekends, you know, and that's for me an unacceptable amount of exposure. Like, so like
2 days for me makes me anxious. So like this event's only a 2-day event, and I'm like, do I want to do both days?
Yeah. And I was excited for Fan Fusion in January because I was going to have a booth. I'm still going to have a booth. That's a complicated situation, but like I was like, oh great, like we can enforce social distancing ourselves. So I think if you are thinking, like, if you are on the fence about going to a convention, like really think about what your personal boundaries are right now and how to kind of clearly convey them.
A lot of people were wearing buttons too that said, please ask.
Yeah.
Just like they had it on like their badges, they had it on like their bags or their backpacks that they were wearing, or even their costumes, so people understood, hey, I need you to ask.
We made the joke that I should bring Elise, my Spider Queen cosplay, because she's like enforced social distancing because she has like legs and spikes and stuff like that. So I'll just enforce social distancing by like having spikes out at my sides. So.
Yeah, wearing my Lady D was super useful because the hat's so dang big that people had to stay at least a couple feet away or they get snapped with it.
So we have a couple of comments. For some who I was fully made up every day just in case I was asked for a shoot. When I did eat and drink, just because the foundation shade was so drastically whiter than my actual skin shade. That was from Shane. Understand. We have Ray, little mask lines. Also, it was sorry, I have contacts in and I'm not being.
No, Ray said that they literally packed up the costume to go in the car on Sunday and they just didn't go to Sabo. And I know several people that did that, so don't feel guilty for that.
On Saturday, I was in costume. And then we'll just say
you were Jessie, right? So like
we themed.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose or accident. I was just magic. But yeah, and then Shane said, working with mascot characters at work, I've gotten super used to reading body language, but even seeing real human-shaped people was jarring. Yes, that's the thing, is seeing people in masks, like normal people. It's like, oh, wait, you're a person. Wait, how do I talk to people?
Understood.
Yeah. And then Venericio is asking, what has it been like being a part of cosplay space during the pandemic? And also Thermo, the X-Men suit looks sick. Thank you.
I've been doing a lot more set up photo shoots, like we did the Pixie Pros and stuff like that. I would say I've been more deliberate in my cosplay as far as when doing photos. And I do build a lot of my cosplays now kind of with that idea of mind of this will need to pair with a mask. So how do I make that look cohesive? So I would say for me, it's not it is a huge, like, pre-pandemic, I was at conventions, and those were kind of my deadlines and my main source of income. And then that went away. So I've definitely had to restructure what my cosplay looks like and what my workflow looks like. And it's been rough. It's not been easy.
Same, so before I was pretty much just a con goer. Like, I did panels and skits and judging, and I did a lot at conventions, and I was hitting anywhere from 4 to 12 conventions a year. Those last couple of years, I was hitting con after con after con every month or 2 months. Just because it was it wasn't my livelihood, but it became a large part of my life.
Yeah.
And so I was doing a lot of work, and then I never did online stuff. And then suddenly pandemic happened, and I was forced to learn how to handle online. I was forced to learn how to do videos. I was forced to keep trying to keep my content up. I've been wanting to do build streams forever. And now it's just this is the only thing I can do in cosplay. So I might as well do it. So I started doing it. So I've been doing a lot of things that I've been wanting to do. I just never did it because I was so busy with real life cosplay, out in the public cosplay. And so I've learned a lot of new techniques over the last 2 years, which I'm eternally grateful for. I can't necessarily say I love it. I will always prefer in-person convention stuff. And that's just my personality. I like interacting with people. I run panels that are very game show-esque that take a lot of extra people's participation. I also run a lot of 101 stuff, and it's really hard to do that online without that feedback and the constant questions. So online's been okay, but it's definitely, I'm missing something in my cosplay life.
It's definitely more one-sided, that's for sure. I appreciate that we get to see all your comments, and please keep commenting and talking to us, because otherwise we're just talking into the void.
Hello, Void.
Hello, Void. Please ask cosplay-related questions so we can talk about it.
So I'm grateful, but I also can't wait for the world to go back to normal.
So the cosplay space for me has actually been really beneficial. When I first started cosplay was in 2014, and I made one costume, and then all of a sudden I went on a freaking roller coaster ride because I escalated and got way more popular way faster than I expected. I was suddenly doing sponsorships. I was suddenly doing events and media, and I basically was burning the candle at both ends. And the pandemic actually made me stop and take a look at cosplay again and see what it was I really wanted to focus on. So it was really beneficial for me. It also gave me a chance to start using some of the products that I had kind of lingering about that I hadn't had a chance to explore. And then I'd always wanted to stream. So streaming became a really, really good thing for me there. Plus, I like doing online cons. I did a couple online conventions. We also did a convention where it was a drive-through theater, and there were 45 cars in the parking lot, and we were on a stage, and there was this huge screen, and then we were speaking through an FM radio station. Anytime we asked a question, we're like, beep twice if you like that. They're like, beep beep. So that was cool. So
that was really cool. That was a really cool experiment.
Yeah.
I wasn't part of it, but I heard stories, and I was like, all right, we're
you know what? Apparently, drive-through theater cons, lots of fun, because it's really funny. You saying honk twice if you like this, or honk once if you don't, or it was really funny hearing and then like seeing people hanging out their windows going like this, like getting excited, and people had their trunks open and they were like throwing cans of soda at each other. Like it was one of those things that like you saw people, you know, kind of coming together without actually physically coming together. So that was really interesting. And then when we did the stream for Anime Next, I didn't know I could stream for 4 hours and not make it feel like 4 hours. That went so fast. I was like, oh.
I mean, it was so fun. I feel like this pandemic has taught us to be out of our comfort zone. Like it officially just like boot, you either have to like sink or swim. And so like a lot of us learned a bunch of things, and same with conventions. Like I hope cons have been able to take this time away to refabric their beings and make it a safer space. And that's what I'm hoping out of all this, I guess, is like coming back to conventions. I hope cons have used this time for the best.
To improve. Yeah. And so we were talking about like pre-conventions, what you want to do during the convention, kind of what you want to do. You want to make sure, you know, you like, I highly recommend taking lots of vitamins, wearing masks, drinking plenty of water. That's just the normal thing. Any event. Oh yeah, and bring hand sanitizer. I brought 2 bottles. One was in my bag and one was hanging outside my bag. And I was like, whatever.
My mom was a nurse for a long time. If you're not washing your hands for 20 seconds, you're not washing your hands. Like you need to stop, wash for 10 seconds, rinse for 10 seconds. I don't care what song you sing in your head, but you finish that damn song. Like that is going to save your life way faster than anything else at a convention. Sanitize and wash your hands constantly.
I literally count to 20 to like a techno beat in my head. But after a convention, there's also additional care you want to think of. So like when you're at a normal con, you still have to disinfect your costumes afterwards, right? Well, with the pandemic, you need to do it even more. And some conventions, some costumes can't be washed. So I highly recommend people get something called Autobahn, or they take 1 part alcohol to 1 part water and add maybe an essential oil for scent and spray it on their costume. And I recommend spraying it twice. So spray it, let it dry for 12 hours, and then spray it again just to make sure it's extra clean.
Yeah, Autobahn is awesome. I use it for everything.
And make sure you wash your masks if they're reusable. Like, please wash them.
Yeah.
Don't just keep wearing them time and time again.
You should be washing your masks daily, like especially at a convention at high exposure things. I use the vodka and water trick for my vinyl, because vinyl, like you're not gonna just put vinyl through the wash machine, and most of my stuff is vinyl. But like that includes armor. Like if you have a foam armor build, disinfect your foam armor. If you're we lost Sam.
I'm coming back. I'm right here.
Okay. Bye,
I just didn't want to roll away, and you guys can see my feet. So but this is what I use.
Oh, there you go.
You can also buy them in huge bottles. That's what I usually do.
Yeah, I have the big bottle back there, but it's stuck behind a little tiny arcade, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knock this over if I try to grab it. Yeah. So, but Autobahn is a fabric and air freshener. It has a eucalyptus or lavender scent, and it actually has antibacterial alcohol, and then it has like it's made for cleaning furniture that you can't throw in a washing machine.
So it works
really well
on wigs. Please.
Oh, works well on wigs too.
Please wash your wigs.
Wigs.
Most of my wigs, I don't do a lot of styling, so I can just wash these. I usually hand wash all my wigs, a little bit of soap, let it dry. But for anything like my Johan wig or Kirishima, spray the fuck out of it and let it sit and then do it again.
Yeah. And you can soak it in fabric refreshener, or I use something called On Conditioner and Detangler, and it's for weaves and wigs. And they have a conditioner and detangler, and they also have a cleaner. And you spray it, it literally smells like brown sugar, and you have to let it dry for 6 hours. Basically, you have to let it dry until it's like fully soaked through. And then, then you can pack up your wig. Also, when you're packing up wigs, make sure you brush through them. And after you've brushed through them, I highly recommend braiding or twisting them and then putting them into a net, so that the next time you need to use it, you don't like
Do know if your wig is ever so slightly damp or if it's in that position for a long time, it will be wavy. So you will have
It'll
to.
also possibly get mold.
Yes. So please make sure it's fully dried and know that you'll probably have to straighten it once it comes out of that bag if it's taken, like if it's in there for longer.
That's actually why while I'm at a convention, after taking my wig off, I never put it straight in the bag. I just put it on top of my suitcase overnight so that it can air out.
Yep. That's actually one of the only times I use dryer sheets is actually in between my wigs to both remove static and to make sure that they
Freshen
feel
them.
good the next time I pull them out. So yeah.
I actually bring a box of dryer sheets anytime I travel so that if I have any clothing that might be extra stinky, I stick it in between. And it comes out of my suitcase and you're wondering if I ever even wore it. It smells so good. And
yeah,
the great thing is like if they put it
in my dryer.
it absorbs moisture. So, even if you have extra moisture in your clothing, because clothing sometimes takes a little bit longer to dry. Like I wore a Medusa from Fate's Stay Night on Sunday of Sabo, and it is vegan leather. And I learned something, guys. Vegan leather takes a while to dry out.
Yeah, when I just did a photo shoot with the most ridiculous outfit, like one of the most ridiculous outfits I've ever worn in my life. Love that outfit. It's a maid outfit. It's not appropriate for this stream or conventions, but love it. And to wash it out, I have to, I'm still in the process of drying it because especially with vinyl, I needed to turn it all inside out, wash it, make sure that was completely dry, then turn it inside out, wash that side, dry that side, then turn it in and out until I'm 100% sure it's dry so it doesn't mold. So
if you need a quick factor for drying stuff out, you can get them for shoes, but they're like these charcoal bean bags that you can shove into shoes and it helps with smell and moisture. You can also use this for gloves. You can use this. Yeah, no, you can use it for everything. I have a couple that I use just to have on hand, especially for shoes. I live in Washington. Things are going to get wet. There's nothing you can do about it. So I just always have a couple of charcoal bags that I can just toss in shoes or toss into a wig or a piece of armor that I need to dry quicker. It's a great way to do it. And they're just a couple bucks on just most grocery stores or
and I recommend if you're in a moist environment, if you are comfortable with it, spray Scotch Guard on your cosplays to try and help keep the water off of them.
If you're doing an outdoor event and you have a jacket that you can use as your thing, use the Scotch Guard. I've done it before. Please do.
Okay, gonna catch us up on comments. Shane says, my masquerade costume was the ultimate social distancing costume. Shane,
I saw it. He had this huge skirt. It was awesome.
Beautiful. Ray says, everyone is so cute today, by the way. I literally woke up half an hour late. So I was like, Magic Carpet counts as a cosplay, right? So
this is the fastest I've ever gotten contacts and beauty makeup on.
Try hard.
I actually did a cat eye right today.
Seriously, 15 minutes.
Damn, it looks really good. I know I've crappy resolution, but your eye makeup is beautiful. Matt says the opening Chuck voiceover or the litany against fear are my go-tos for counting out the hand washing. Awesome ones. And then Veneratio says, Amber mentioned considering designs that make sense with masks. What's been your favorite cosplay that naturally used a mask this past year? I have an opposite answer. I have what cosplay does masks ruin for me? It's Melina, my Melina from Mortal Kombat. The main reason I love her is because of the mouth prosthetics I do. And with a mask, she's just like a bikini cosplay, which I like bikini cosplays, but I didn't do anything on the bikini cosplay. So the mask mandate has ruined Melina for me.
I'm going to show a picture so I'm going to share so you guys can see why Amber's devastated that she has to wear a mask.
Yeah. It's that is the whole point of that cosplay and they move when I talk too, because they're 4 separate pieces blended in.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So when I talk and people are like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I can do rahs and stuff like that. It's my favorite part of that costume. And she technically has a mask for much of the game. She just takes it off for her fatality and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, mask mandate, Melina, go back in the back of the closet. I'm not wearing you for a long time.
Bye, Melina.
Bye.
Bye.
She's
I
done.
haven't had to worry too much about it because the only photo shoots I've done are with Happy Rising Cosplay, who's actually within my inner circle. So the one time I did go do a photo shoot, we did an off day out on the beach. So I felt safe enough not to wear a mask. So I was lucky. I will say though, making a mask to match the cosplay has become like a new really fun challenge for me because like I know I'm going to do an Arendelle mask for my Anna, and then I was saying, I don't know if he's going to get done in time, but I'm working on my fantasy Kirishima, and I'm going to do like a smoking dragon's mask. And the trick of making it smoking, but still making it safe where my mouth is covered has been a fun challenge to overcome. But like, I really want to make these costumes with these detail masks to kind of add this extra layer because it's something I would have never have done pre-pandemic. This isn't a piece of the costume that I previously had thought about, but this costume does a lot of prosthetic makeup, and I do my scale makeup. If you saw the anime next, you would have saw my face, and I'm like, well, if there's a mask on, then there's like no makeup. Like, what do I do to make this costume still cool? And so I decided to make a very detailed dragon face smoking mask to add that extra layer of Kirishima that I wanted to keep to still make that costume feel like worthy to me. So it's been fun for me to figure out challenges.
So this is my favorite costume. This is me trying to get in a baby swing. I want to get in the baby swing, but I'm too tall, guys. I can't do it. But I also almost fell because I'm clumsy. Okay. But I really love doing the Dark Brotherhood. So the fact that it's supposed to wear a mask worked beautifully for me.
Yeah. Everyone who normally wears masks for costumes are probably just really freaking loving this. This is great for them. They're like, it's my time to shine, you know?
I will say I do a lot of Star Wars characters. And so like, it's been really nice to be like, oh, it'll be really easy to incorporate a mask into this character because I'll just make it like a rebreather styled mask. So I'm optimistic that most of my cosplays going forward, like I'm actually really excited about having a full visor for my Twi'lek, so that way like I don't have to paint up at all. Like
yeah, so I'm a confirmed guest at YumaCon, and I'm gonna try really hard to finish my Mando Merida, and I'm just gonna hold my bucket, like I'm gonna put it on like my table as like a display item. And I'm going to wear a Bo-Katan headband and then the rest of the outfit. And I plan on making like the mask out of the leftover fabric I have for my dress. And I'm going to try and do this, guys, but I have some gold vinyl and I'm going to try and like carefully cut it out and like make like the Merida and the mom bear like little symbol and just like put it on that mask. And then have like the Star Wars Rebels symbol on the other side. Like, you know,
and there are like most masks attach by going over your ears. There are several ways to have a mask for cosplays where you can't easily put things over your ears. One of my favorites is actually just putting magnets in your wig and then sewing your magnets on your mask so you can
shit, you're genius, Amber.
I actually plan on just sewing some washers on the underside of my wig and just going like boop.
I will use magnets for anything. You have no idea how much I love magnets. Like so much of my cosplays, I'm like, I'm just gonna use like magnets for this.
For Ren Fair, I had elf ears out to here, and getting that mask on my face was not it was not something I had previously thought about until I had already come to that problem.
You can also get armature wire, or you can get armature wire or jewelry wire, and you could create hooks and then have the wire make the full frame of your face.
That's
so all you do is you just hook it.
Mask.
I was wearing my favorite mask that I wasn't going to ruin because it was a D&D mask that my girlfriend made for me. It had not occurred to me that this was a problem until it was too late.
Yeah.
But that
is my writer mask.
Amber, I 100% need to like hire you to make me one of those because my writer mask is trash and I had such a hard time with it and I couldn't see.
I have really good vision in this and it just like hooks over my ears.
So did you make that or did you have it 3D printed?
No, I made it.
Okay, so I'm gonna can I like hire you?
Yeah. Do you want by the way, how did you like the props? How did you like the daggers? Did they work?
So everything was good. It's just there's one little tip that I think needs to be reinforced because it's a little wobbly. But everything was awesome.
I've never actually gotten to use those like at all. Like I made them.
So let's just say I almost broke the window because those chains work really well.
I'm so excited.
Amber was kind enough to let me borrow her writer. Actually, I can show you guys. I'll just share a screen so you guys can. I guess we can share some of the Sabo stuff with you guys so you can see what was going on. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff. Go up, go up, go. Okay, so this is Sabo. I'm gonna open it up. It's like day 1, and then I was Nurse Joy for day 2 because it was fun. And we just kept finding places where there weren't a lot of people. Oh, I was in a fashion show. That was random. Guys, I had to model Lolita wear. I've never done that before.
That's awesome.
But we all wore masks on stage. That was there. You go. Yay.
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
And then that's
Yeah.
So that's where I almost broke the window.
Yeah, because the rings are metal.
For my last event, I proceeded to take videos and pictures of everybody else, and I only got like 2 pictures of myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we had a friend that I didn't know was secretly filming, and I was like, thank you for doing this, because otherwise I would have not had any photos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
But yeah, we did panels, and we made everyone had to wear masks. So that
Morgiana! Sorry.
Yeah.
I am going through a hardcore Moggy phase again, and I will be posting Yunnan in the near future. So, Moggy, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's on
so the reason I'm not wearing shoes, I'll just tell you guys this story real fast. I had a fight with a sewer grate. The sewer grate won, and I ripped off several layers of skin on my knee, and I was just done with shoes at that time. So, but as you can see, we're all wearing masks. We're staying pretty safe.
Let me finish that story though. So Sam started to message our group that Sam had fallen, and then Amber's reply was, "Who the fuck left Sam alone?"
Yeah,
and I was absolutely dying. It was great.
This is the best thing. So we're actually all walking together, guys. We're all walking together, and all of a sudden, I'm on the ground. I don't know how I got there, and I look up, and like both Lena and Alex are holding their arms out like this, and I'm like, why am I on the ground? That's the first thing out of my mouth. It's like, why am I on the ground, guys? And Jess turns around, like, Jinx Cosplay turns around, looks at me, she's like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't know. And I look down and I see that my foot had got caught on a sewer grate. And somehow I just like baby dared it and my ankle rolled and I was like, wee! I was wearing Nurse Joy, didn't get anything dirty. All I did was like road rash my knee and destroy my tights. And I was like, I didn't even get my shoes dirty. I don't know how I did this.
No,
but that is how you carry a first aid kit. I left mine at the Airbnb like a dumbass. And so thankfully one of my con friends was kind enough to go walk to a Walgreens, get me a new pair of tights and a first aid kit. But always bring a first aid kit, okay? When you're at a con.
Or know where the medical station is. Like every con should have a medical station.
Let's discuss maybe a small thing. I mean, we have an episode on a pack you should bring to cons, but I want to bring up, yes, please always have a medical kit on you no matter what you're at a con, whether it's a costume medical kit or an actual personal. I'm the con mom with all the stuff. But I also want to say what's really important and what has been added into my con kit since this pandemic is I now have a small kit for people that are having an anxiety attack or a panic attack or overstimulation. So I have a set of headphones. I usually keep like a little fidget toy or something with texture that they can play with. So I basically the way I treat this kit is it's a 5 senses kit. So I have headphones, so I can always give them music or something to block whatever noise is going on. Give them something to give to their hands, so they have something to fidget with and focus on. Peppermint oil or some sort of smell is really great to have because it kind of blocks your sensors. So if you feel like you're going to cry or something, a little bit of peppermint oil usually kind of helps stop that. In most cases, I usually carry a piece of food or something, or like a piece of mint. If you don't have peppermint oil, a mint works really good because that's both taste and smell. And and then something to see, you can either bring them a book, or I usually use that as take them somewhere away from the anxiety. So if it's a crowd, lead them away from that space, find them a corner to sit them in, something where they're going to be not focused on whatever they're saying. But this is so very important now, especially with, we were just talking about how we're all way more anxious than normal. Make a small kit for people. If you have somebody who might have a neurology problem or anxiety problem, this will be foreverly grateful for that human or yourself when you need an emergency.
Yeah.
And more and more conventions are having like quiet rooms and stuff like that. This is one of the things I love about Emerald City is they have specifically a quiet room in which you are not allowed to talk inside. So if you're overloaded, you can go and just sit quietly in the corner, and the expectation is no one's talking, no one's having conversations, everyone's, and it's like darker and stuff like that. So you know, if especially if you are like me, where being out in crowds now is causing more of that anxiety, you know, having that kit, or even just looking into what your convention has as far as, is there a quiet room? Is there a friend I know who has a hotel room that if I get overstimulated, I can just go sit in their hotel room? Is there like a park nearby or something like that that I can leave the grounds?
This is so important.
Yeah, just to get away. So
yeah,
you know.
well, usually the buddy system is the rule of thumb. We also, in my personal group, we have a couple of safe words that are kind of like, you use this word and the entire group knows that's it. We need to step out. And it doesn't matter the situation. We usually take turns taking whoever uses a safe word out. Like, I do a lot of panel running, so I don't always get the chance to be able to take someone out. But if somebody in the group uses, we usually use Bubbles or Biscuit. And when we hear this word, you just kind of, you stop everything. You take this person, you take them out, you give them the kit, you give them the attention they need to calm them down and get them into a better headspace.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, there's safe words are really important too, because
always
the one problem with Sabo this year,
also especially considering what else happened at Saboton, with
Sabo had a lot of sexual assault reports that didn't go through properly. One thing I'm going to say, if you've been like harassed or sexually assaulted and you report to the con, they don't do anything, it is your legal right to call the police. You can do that. Doesn't matter where you're at. You can call them and they can come to the event. So please do that so that it's handled immediately while you're still fresh in your mind. You know what that person looked like, and you can get them taken out.
And try and get a picture if you can too. And this is one of those situations where someone reached out to me about the incident at Sabo, and we're like, I recall, or like, do you know anything about him? And I was able to go, yes. And here's the post I made about him a couple months before the pandemic, because he was harassing and being inappropriate with me as well. So, you know, if you can get a picture of the person, but like first and foremost, like prioritize your safety and getting out of the situation. And then if you can get a picture, because the other thing is he has messaged my page like constantly over the past like pandemic and stuff like that. So I was able to just turn around and be like, here you go.
Yeah.
This is the person.
Yeah. So at conventions, look for security. If they don't do anything, call the police, and then you'll get things taken care of that way. Like Amber said, try to take pictures of the individual. Also, rule of thumb, anytime you go to a convention, don't go alone. Bring somebody with you. Buddy system's really important.
Yeah.
You can't tell a predator just by looking at them, guys.
Yeah. Because 100%. And there are convention groups that if you know you're going alone, just hop on and find a new friend. You know, just I saw that in the Sabo group where people were like, I'm new here, I'm going alone, who wants to buddy? You know?
And that's the other thing, like, because even us, the Cos Talk Live group, like, if we know somebody is on their own or something, we are more than, if we have the chance, we will come with you and do something. We will come meet you. If you ever see me on the floor, if something's going on, you can come to me. Just all you have to do is act like a friend that hasn't seen me in a long time, and I will know. It's like, okay, this person needs out of this situation and they're using me. I will always be a safe person to come to if the situation's going wrong. If you don't feel comfortable going to security alone, I will 100% be there for you. There's a large chunk of the cosplay community that feels this exact way. We are willing to drop everything to take you to a safe place.
Yeah.
My booth, if I have a booth or a table, my booth or table is always a safe place. Just come up and let us know. My husband's almost always there as well, so we will make sure that you're safe, you're not alone. And like if you need somebody to just go to the bathroom with you, I love going to the bathroom at cons. I don't do it enough. So if you are a trans person or a non-binary person who needs to go to the bathroom, come ask me, because chances are I probably need to go.
Yeah, so that's another like So pre-con and during con, you'll want to consider your options for attending and how safe you'll be. How far is parking? How close is parking? Where are you going? What times are you going to be there from? Just consider the safety, especially the area that you're in. Look up police reports. Look up the area if you're unfamiliar with it. Just try to be as safe as possible. And then that'll be useful for post-convention, because then you'll be able to just take care of the stuff instead of having to worry about something that happened and potentially having an emotional.
I have been that friend at 2 a.m. that has left my panel and walked my friends to their hotel room in a group to make sure that they make it safely. Because I love Washington. I hate Seattle. I will only ever go there for conventions or Wajimaya. I do not trust that city. I do not trust a single person in that city. And I will never trust any of my friends, especially ones that are all dolled up in cosplay walking around that city at night. So we now have a system where if we're doing late night panels, me and a couple of my friends do a lot of 18 plus panels. If we're doing a set of 18 plus panels, we'll go to each other's panels, be there for each other. And then once the panels are over, as a group, we'll go and distribute people among the hotels, starting at the farthest one, coming back towards the convention.
Yeah, my joke is everybody needs a Sam. So, you know.
Sam is also very tall, intimidating. I am not. I have my one tall guy friend that's usually like assisting me with stuff, and he comes with us. He's our
Look, guys, my shortest cosplay, I'm 5'11".
Yeah. No,
I'm just gonna let you know that I am the size, according to Google, I am the size of the average medium-sized man. So I'm a big girl. And I am muscular too. And I've been known to pick people up when they're threatening and just literally lift them up and tell them to go away. And that tends to scare them off. So I have picked up 3 people in my life because I felt like they were not doing something good. And I just was letting them know that I could throw you. I'm not going to, but I can throw you.
It's so easy to be ferocious for other people's sake too. Like I've had situations where like I personally have been uncomfortable and like I've had men harass me and stuff like that, and I kind of shut down. I had a situation where a guy was making one of my friends uncomfortable, and I like mama beared in there. I was like ready to like fight. Like I was like, don't you dare make my friend uncomfortable. So having friends is a good thing. And I actually thought of something too. If you want to get into the convention circuit and you are alone, you don't know how to, not an easy, but a solid way in, and kind of how we went in, is through the Star Wars costuming clubs. So if you like doing charity and stuff like that, the Star Wars costuming clubs have an onboarding process to get into the club, meeting you'll meet all of the other members. And then they always have like meetups and
also volunteering at a convention. Now you become familiar with the staff and you've got contacts.
That's always a great way to do it.
Policies and stuff like that. That's a good one too. So
we should take
the
last 10 minutes to talk about like not just costume aftercare, but like personal aftercare. So after a convention, because Sam has been dead this whole week, I have not heard a peep out of Sam, Lena, or Jinx, or Liz. Right. Like everybody's been dead. So let's talk about.
Our group chat has been so quiet.
Personal care. Let's take a second to remind you to drink lots of water, to get extra sleep, and to eat a couple of full, solid meals with fruits and vegetables, because those are important.
That's actually why I've been quiet, because I've been sleeping more and I've been taking care of myself. And so I've been very quiet because I kind of separated, like I had some scheduled posts that went out, but like I really was, I'm taking it easy this week, and I have other stuff going on in my personal life. And so I made that my focus and was like, sorry, social media, but you're taking a back burner. So
take some time to yourself, especially a couple of days after a con. I'm one of those idiots that usually jumps right back into work after a con.
I take one day off. I had a day off. Exactly.
Yeah, if you can take a day off, then do it. This is more of like a con thing for me, but then it also works as aftercare. At a convention, I try to do electrolyte drinks. I'm a big fan of a company called Liquid IV. They're little powder sticks you can pour into water, and they're packed full of vitamins and minerals. They're great because they give you lots of potassium and electrolytes, and they also rehydrate you. This is a great way to avoid con crud. Like, I used to get con crud all the time, but I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I didn't take care of myself. Now that I go to conventions, I get plenty of sleep, I eat really well, and I'm doing the Liquid IV or
I bring these little guys.
Yeah, drink these kinds of things because it's giving your body a little extra boost of vitamins, minerals, and immune support that would help, that's going to help protect you. So I usually drink them at conventions, but after conventions is a great way too. If you don't have access to this, just Gatorade or something. Just drink something that's going to give your body just a teeny tiny bit of an edge in a bad situation. Also sleep.
My go-to is coconut water. I love coconut water.
I just have a problem with that because then I end up making trips to the bathroom like every 30 minutes because coconut water just goes right through me. So
I mean, if you drink a hydrating drink, just know you'll be using the restroom a lot, which is why a lot of people drink it after the con. But just keep those things in mind. Like after a con, treat it like maybe treat it like a day like you're sick or an aftercare day. Like really and truly just relax on the couch, maybe soak your feet because they're gonna hurt. Maybe give yourself a nice little facial, like wash your face real good, use a mask, like lay down on the couch and watch an anime until you fall asleep. Like seriously, take that last day to give you that extra little boost that you'll need, and you'll feel way better through the week after that.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do. And with the convention, at the convention, every morning I get up around like 7:30 or 8 and I drink 32 ounces of water with 2 of those tablets in it because that's guaranteed the first 32 ounces. And then I always drink 32 ounces at around 12 or 1. And then I drink it at night. So like I know when I'm going to use the bathroom.
But that's the kind of thing that's going to help a lot, especially like con crud is even more of a scary thing these days because you don't know if it's con crud or you don't know if you got something worse. So really and truly, the best way to avoid con crud is washing your hands, drinking lots of water, taking care of yourself, and getting plenty of sleep.
Don't crunch coming up to the convention. I'm looking at Sam and I'm looking at Jinx cosplay. Don't con crunch. Go into the convention well rested.
The only reason I didn't stay up late though, but the only reason like I con crunched, like I went to bed on time every night, but the only reason I was working on some stuff was because I had that kidney infection. And so those 10 days I was supposed to be working on something were gone.
But still, like, drop the costume before you stress yourself out. But
thankfully, I only did 5 hours of work, and it was just me sewing a bunch of purple tubes.
I mean, that's not so bad. Like, I actually have a fail-safe plan. So if I do King Kong, if I'm competing, I really want to do Kirishima. I'm going to be doing a full makeup build because I want to do the FX a competition. If that doesn't get done, I have my ROM cosplay. I have already decided if I cannot finish it by a certain date, I will be competing in a separate costume because then I won't be stressing myself out because I know I have work in between there, not to mention all of the extra stuff I do. Like, I'm not going to allow myself to stress out before this convention. So if I can't make this costume by a certain date, I'm going to drop it and just wear a costume that I know is completed, ready to go, that I'm still confident in. And like, that's a great fail-safe.
Here's the beautiful thing is even if you wore a costume a whole bunch before the pandemic, we haven't seen it for like a year and a half going on 2 years. So it's almost like a new costume. So like break in, pull out some of those oldie goldies. Like don't stay up until 4 a.m. and then get up at 8 a.m. to go to the con. Like just don't do it. We love you. We want you to stay here with us. Not like stay here, like be here and then go away and do your life and then come back. But like we want to see you or
there's a lot of studies that have sleep and immunity kind of tied into each other, and like lack of sleep can really cause a lot of stress in your body, which creates more opportunities for bad things to happen. So we're dead serious because like we joke about it because we used to be the kids that stayed up until 2 a.m. working on costumes and then went to con. Like we were those people. We're adults now that have been through it and we're on the other end telling you don't.
My first Phoenix fan fusion that I guessed it, I debuted 4 new costumes in the 4 days. And I think I got a grand total of like 12 hours of sleep that entire weekend. Like I was sleeping in like 3-hour intervals and it was not bad. Like it was not good. Like I don't remember much of the con. I do know that I hated 3 out of 4 of the costumes. And I was just miserable the entire time. Like, and that was the con that I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never I'm never sacrificing sleep. And like, you go to a con to experience the con. Like, if you're too tired, like, you're not going to have fun doing it. So
start a new page, open a new book, become a better cosplayer this year. When you start returning to conventions, give yourself lots of sleep. Like, don't go back to your old ways because we know you've done it.
And the convention's usually going to come back the next year. So just focus on 2 or 3 things you really want to get to. And if you can't get to anything else, it's okay. You'll do it again in the future. It's okay.
I am now creating certain large builds with no deadlines. Like my Deedlit cosplay, I'm just working on it when I have time. I will do it someday. It will be completed eventually, but I know that if I rush it, I will hate myself forever. And I will hate that costume. And she's my dream costume. And so now I have Deedlit, who's my build that I get to work on when I have time and I feel like working on it. And then I have a couple of builds that I'm like, okay, well, I would like to wear this at this event. So let's do a couple pieces on it. Let's keep it working. And that's the one nice thing the pandemic has given me is like, now I'm like, okay, this build is not meant for anything but myself. And it's awesome because I've made a lot of mistakes already, but like, I have this time to make mistakes and to redo the mistakes and to make it feel like I'm really putting a lot of my love into this costume. And even though I'm still at like the mock-up spaces, like I'm already so excited to keep working on it. And like every day it's that extra step of like, okay, it's not meant for anything. It's just literally meant for me. And I love this costume more than anything I've built in a long time. So it's a great way to look at things.
Yeah. And a couple comments. Rob said safety in numbers. Yep. And then Ray said that they take lysine too. It stops viruses from replicating. So that's not a bad idea either. Kind of helps boost your immune system a bit more. And then obviously don't touch things you don't have to. Like that was my rule at the convention. Like I looked at it closely, but unless I was buying it, I didn't touch it.
This should be your life rule. Please don't touch things in stores.
And don't touch people's costumes, just period. Just pandemic or not, don't touch people's costumes. That drives me insane. Like you don't know what's held on by like hot glue and a prayer. Like don't be the person who breaks or smudges or grease paints another person's costume. Yeah.
And then Ferret says that they want to discuss the harnesses for Deedlit's armor. So
hi, Dad. Yes. That's my workshop, Dad. We're working on Deedlit.
So we're over the hour now. We can do our wrapping up statements. If you want to, while we're wrapping up, please ask us some questions. We will be on next Sunday. We're going to starting in October, we're going to start having a schedule again. I'm just kind of in the midst of moving, so things are happening for me right now. And then I know we've all kind of had a couple busy months. So we're going to be picking back up in October and November with scheduled streams, so you'll actually see what we're going to talk about before the stream starts.
Surprise!
I will do my best to be on every stream I can, but as of right now, work has been really crazy, and I'm now basically the second in command of my store, and so I'm at work a lot more than I would like to be. So I will be here on the Sundays that I can afford to take off, but thank you for still accepting me on my rare occasions.
Yeah. So, okay, I keep touching my hair and forgetting that I put fake black in it, and I'm getting black on myself. Anyways, it's tickling me, guys. It tickles. Anyways, so I am Sam from ThermoCosplay. You can reach me at thermocosplay.com. And Chibi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chibi Raincloud. You might not also know me as Tiny Raincloud or Kii-Chan Cosplay, whatever you call me. Thank you so much for tuning into this stream, whether you're doing it right now in the present or in the future. We love to have you around. You can find me on social media at Chibi_Raincloud, hopefully on all my social media by the end of today. That is the goal of today. So wish me luck. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that should be today. So thank you so much for all your patience with me playing around with usernames until I found something right. That's the important. It's the joy of the internet. Like, yeah, right now I can sit and play with my name and figure out what works for me, and that's what I've been doing the last couple of months. If you aren't satisfied with your name, go ahead, have fun.
Yeah, funny. So I had someone at the con for the first time realize that the reason my name's Thermo is because I work with, like, I started working with thermoplastics, and I live in a desert. They're like, oh, wait, that's heat, right? Thermo's like heat. I'm like,
As a Washington cosplayer, I really, really wanted to do something with rain. Like I wanted something water based, and so that's where Rain Cloud came from. Because usually when I'm doing my workshop, it's rainy day workshop, and so that's kind of where things started shaping from. So yeah, like this is the perfect time for you to play around with your social media presence and figure out who you want to be. So don't be scared to. I've been Kii-Chan for over 10 years, and I will probably always be Kii-Chan, but I'm welcoming.
I'm going to print, I think I'm going to print you a new one of those. I'll gift you a new one. Yeah.
Oh, you're the sweetest. I mean, this is a wonderful mug. I got everybody mugs.
We're gonna all have ours together soon. We've just had craziness, and I keep just leaving them in my kitchen. And I'm like, dang it, I need to get it to you guys. So
don't worry, everybody in the group has one. It'll happen eventually.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, I will make sure that they're all to everybody. So,
okay, good.
Yeah.
And I'm Amber Brite. You can find me at amberbriteprops.com, and then I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I've been having fun on TikTok, so I've been enjoying that a bunch. Yeah, and I'm around. Anticlimactic, sorry.
Yeah. So I think Ferret asked if you're going back to a work while streaming day. I don't know if that's directed to Chibi, but I know that I believe Chibi, Rain Cloud, and I are going to go back to our work while streaming days. I plan on starting it back up in October and doing it every Saturday. And I know that Cos Talk Live is going to try and do it at least once a month on a Wednesday.
I think I'm going to be streaming Guild Wars in preparation for the upcoming expansion. So if you like Guild Wars, go follow me on Twitch.
Oh, it's so exciting.
So
I'm hoping to do more streaming. That's my ultimate goal. I'm not very good at it. But I know that if I have a reason to work and I have a time marked out to sit and work, I will work more often. So I'm trying to make little moments, an hour or two, a couple times a week where I will be sitting and streaming while working. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitch or TikTok, and I'll be doing that.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Again, next week's going to be a surprise theme. I have no idea what we're doing. We'll figure it out. We'll see you guys again next week. Yeah, stay tuned and find out. Have a wonderful day, and just take care. Yeah.